going. I want to get that corner over there, that far corner. I want to get that tiled in, and then that left over on my left, there's that little patch also that I need to get that tiled too, for the wall. And it's about the tile is about 3 3/4 tall, or 3.75 inches. I got a tile, and my new tile doesn't exactly match the tile that was already there, but it's pretty close, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to, take a little bit away with the tape measure, because when I use that extra area for grout, see, that's going to be where my grout line is. And one of the reasons why tile is not butted right up against each other is so you have that grout line for expansion and contraction from the tile, I think. And this one is about, now I figured, I looked at it, looking with a tape measure, it's about 8, because I took away, like 1/8 for grout on the right side. So I'm going to use my crayon here and mark on the tape measure. Use my blue crayon and mark where the tape measure is. I'll mark a line on the tape measure. And so it was about 8 inches long, that little section was. So here's a 16 by 16 inch tile that I'm using, a clean one. And remember, it was 3 3/4. The tile was 3 3/4 tall on the wall there. So I'm gonna mark 3 3/4 on the left side here. And mark 3 3/4 on the right side, just so I can give myself a line of sight where I need to put my line. So I'm going to get the tape measure here, and it's good to have the tape measure. Pull it kind of tight so that it stays somewhat still whenever you're moving the marker or the crayon or whatever. It should be a crayon, should be something waxy to draw the line with. So I'm pulling that tape measure pretty tight, so that it won't move whenever I'm pushing the crayon up against it like that. So now I got my line. It's pretty good. It doesn't have to be, the line doesn't have to be a perfect match. It's just kind of a general idea where you need it to be. So, and luckily, coincidentally, my little section over there on the left of the tile I need was also 3 3/4. So mark that off. both sides. And I'm going to get my tape measure and go straight, so I know where so my line of sight, or my measurement line, is looking good. So I know where I need to cut. And it's a pretty small area, so didn't have to worry too much about it. About keeping the tape measure tight. It's pretty tight already. And remember, the other one was about 8 inches. So it was about 8 inches long. So that's what I'm marking. I put from far right, 1, 2, 3, 4, as I'm going left, and then 7, and then 8. So I'm marking at the 8 line right there on the tape measure. And just give myself a line of sight where I need to cut. It's also nice to think about where the tile is going to go. In the corner, or in the side, or something like that, next to a door. If it were next to a door, then it's more important to think about the smooth edge of the tile instead of the cut edge, where I'm going to cut that, that line. That's going to be the cut edge. I don't want to have the cut edge on the top, or basically exposed to other people, because they might cut themselves. I'm going to draw an X through the tile that I'm not going to use. So I got one that's 3 3/4, 3 3/4, and another one that's 8. And what I'm doing here is I'm gonna get the tile, get the blade a little bit wet, so whenever I turn on turn the blade on, turn the saw on, then it's not going to be all gummed up. It's not going to easily get gummed up from stuff. So I always have a big water. Usually I have some kind of little bit of water, but that one's a big water. It's probably a 33 ouncer or something. And so I figured that'll probably help me out. I'll be able to use all that. That'd be enough. And I want to go really, really slowly with this tile cutter. See, the tile cutter it's getting hot, and it's very, very sharp. So I don't want to brush my hand up against it or anything by accident, because it's very dangerous. It'll cut me very easily. So I'm doing this slow and being very careful as I do it. And whenever I see that I'm needing a little bit of water, then I dump a little bit of water in there. What I like to do is whenever I get really close to the edge, I like to go even more slow, so that way I don't have a weird break in the tile. Yeah, there it broke. So it was pretty good break in the tile. And it's also nice that if you're going to have a break in the tile like that, then it's good to have it facing down or facing away from, you know, your guests, so that they don't accidentally brush up against it and cut themselves. But anyway, I'm going to put grout on this tile. I'm going to be grouting pretty soon. But what I want to do is I'm just showing you just attaching the tile to the wall. And I'm using thinset, but anyway, I go pretty slow. So I don't want a weird break. Okay, it wasn't too bad. And always stay aware of where the blade is, because that blade is moving really, really fast, and it can do a lot of damage to your skin. It can really hurt you pretty bad. So pay attention always where the blade is and if it's on and things like that. Well, this is to the blade. See, there's a blade. The blade's going right now. And I'm just trying to clean out the edge over there on that 8-inch one. I always want to try and put some water in there. You can have some. There's a container for water, but I don't have it on the bottom of the tile cutting machine that I was using. So here's my 3 3/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch, and what I want to do is I want to have the somewhat smooth side of the tile, not the cut side of the tile, but the smooth side of the tile facing upwards, and the cut side of the tile facing downwards, or facing away from, you know, visitors or whoever is going to come, dogs or, you know, other people. So I got the smooth part of the tile going up, and I flip the tile over here so I remember that those tile aren't attached. And good thing I washed it yesterday, because I forgot, and I should have kept it I should have kept it with me. I forgot that I was throwing it away. So I got a spoon there, and I got my container. Yesterday I used about, I think that 33 ounce, what is it, a pint or whatever, I don't know how much it is, but that thing was about 3/4 of the way full. So I figured, well, if I added a third of that, because yesterday whenever I attached all those tiles to the wall, then I had some left over. So I figured, well, if I